Signal and Bar, Aide de Camp, and all the ranks of the Corps of Signals, I, Tia Ahuja, take the pleasure to welcome this distinguished gathering to today's event, the inauguration of the Delhi Zone Access Network. We are indeed honored to have the very esteemed presence of General J.J. Singh, Param Vishishta Seva Medal, Ati Vishishta Seva Medal, Vishishta Seva Medal, Aide de Camp, Chief of the Army Staff, who will be joining us in a short while from now. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a tiny little request to all of you. Kindly switch off your mobile phones while the ceremony is in progress. Today is a day of great pride, of honor and joy for all the ranks of the Corps of Signals and the Army, as we stand on this threshold of innovation and wide sweeping strides of progress, embarking on a continual journey of rolling out world-class network systems, which will equip the Indian Army with the wherewithal to fight future wars in a digitized battle space. Besides the numerous networks based on broadband satellites and optical fibers with a countrywide reach, the Corps is also establishing access networks at the military stations with a view to improve the last mile connectivity with all these areas. The Delhi Zone Access Network is one such network. It stands testimony to the commitment of the information warriors to equip the Indian Army with a sound and a reliable communication infrastructure based on emerging technologies. These remarkable achievements have undoubtedly been made possible thanks to the sound foundation and the visionary leadership meted out by the illustrious forefathers of the Corps. Some of these guiding forces are present in our midst today, and as always, they continue to remain a huge source of inspiration for the present generation. We are indeed very grateful to you, respected sirs, for taking the time out to be a part of today's ceremony. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the fruit that a tree bears lies in its nurturing. Likewise, the fielding of the Delhi Zone Access Network, or DZAN as it is called in short, is the result of the relentless efforts of the officers and men of the Corps of Signals under the dynamic leadership of Lieutenant General Davinder Kumar, Signal Officer-in-Chief. Their efforts have led to the eventual conception, design, and the execution of DZAN as we see this network in its form today. On this momentous day, we'd also like to express our gratitude to the engineers of Alcatel and ABS India and all the associated companies who, with their selfless devotion and utmost dedication, have fielded and enabled this network. It is indeed a matter of tremendous pride, not just for me as I stand here, but for the entire Signals fraternity, both serving and retired, and especially those present in this hall today to witness this memorable event, the inauguration of the Delhi Zone Access Network. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now run you through the agenda of today's ceremony. The Chief of Army Staff is expected to arrive at 10 a.m. On his arrival in this hall, as a mark of respect, we are requesting everyone to please rise. The ceremony will commence with the welcome address by Shri Ravi Sharma, Managing Director and President, Alcatel South Asia. Lieutenant General Davinder Kumar, the Signal Officer-in-Chief, will then deliver the keynote address, followed by the address by the Vice Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General S. Pattabhiram. We will then showcase a short audiovisual on the features of DZAN, after which the Chief will inaugurate DZAN by unveiling a graphical representation. A simultaneous virtual unveiling will be projected on the screens before you. This will be followed by the release of the commemorative brochure by Lieutenant General Pattaviraman. After that, we have a very special ceremony. Yes, the presentation of the mementos to the people who have been the driving force behind DZAN. This will be followed by an address by the Chief, and last but not the least, we have the vote of thanks being delivered by Major General S.P. Srikumar, Additional Director General Telecommunications, after which we meet once again over a cup of tea in a slightly more informal environment at the atrium on the ground level. We now await the arrival of the Chief of Army Staff, General J.J. Singh. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you to kindly switch off your mobile phones. Gentlemen, the Chief of the Army Staff and our chief guest for today, General J.J. Singh. We wish you a very good morning and a welcome, Sir, General J.J. Singh, and once again, good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. It is indeed a red letter day in the history of the Corps of Signals. To have with us today, General J.J. Singh, Param Vishishta Seva Medal, Ati Vishishta Seva Medal, Aide-de-Camp, the Chief of the Army Staff, to grace this occasion as our chief guest and for honoring us by consenting to inaugurate the Delhi Zone Access Network. General J.J. Singh is a third-generation Army officer who has risen to the highest rank in the Army after an illustrious career spanning more than 4 decades. The General, besides being a ground soldier, is also extremely technology-savvy himself. He has always been closely associated with establishing a strong ICT infrastructure to act as a viable force multiplier for the Indian Army. We thank you so once again for being with us today. Mr. Ravi Sharma, Managing Director and President, Alcatel South Asia. Through his rich professional experience and broad vision, is the person behind the multifold growth of Alcatel in the South Asian region over the last few years. May I now request you, sir, Mr. Ravi Sharma, to kindly come forward and deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning to all of you. A hearty welcome to this occasion. Inspector General J.J. Singh, Lieutenant General Devendra Kumar, Chief, Lieutenant General S. Pattaviraman, Vice Chief of Army Staff, and Major General S.P. Srikumar, ADG Telecom, ladies, and my friends from Indian Army Signals Corps, and some of the people from Air Force, as I can see, my colleagues and friends. I am slightly deviating from the written text which was given to me by my office to deliver on this occasion. The reason is very simple. I find that this is rarest of the rare opportunity when I am standing in front of all of you who belong to Indian Army, particularly related with the signals, and I have the privilege to speak to you in presence of General of Indian Army. I was told in my address as to what all we can do for you. But before that, I thought I would like to thank you for a few things, for what you have done for me, and what you have done for me as an Indian. Alcatel is a truly international company, and we have our presence in about 130 countries. Now that is very good, but it gives us sometimes very complex situations whenever we meet as colleagues over a drink and we start arguing about different things of life, of technology, of nationalities and nations. Sometimes, whenever we argue with my colleagues from Europe, from Africa, and from different parts of the world, sometimes I win my arguments and sometimes I lose. But one argument which I never lost, and therefore I want to thank you, that whenever I am discussing with them, it is undisputed fact that Indian Army is the best army of the world. This fact, and therefore today I want to thank you for making India proud of that fact and making Indian proud of that fact that I can stand in front of anybody and say that Indian Army is the best army in the world. The second part, personally, where I feel extremely emotional to thank you, that where I am standing today, and I feel that whatever success I have in my life, I feel that signals of Army have played extremely important role for me to come. I remember 1986 when I just started my career and I was struggling to get a big break. And what? That big break came from Indian Army signals. That time, if I remember correctly, Major General Harjayal Singh used to be the CSO of Central Command, and there were a couple of those gentlemen, Brigadier Malhotra, Colonel UN Mahapatra. These were the people who decided to introduce PABXs in the country. And I am proud and privileged that I was associated with introducing EPABXs to Indian Army. I want to thank all of them, and I want to thank all of you for accepting technology in a much faster manner than what was expected by the commercial ventures. Therefore, after that, I got opportunity to introduce PABXs in Air Force, and one of the gentlemen who was pioneer in that field, Commodore Motial, is sitting here. I had dealt with him that time in 1988 in Jodhpur. So in Jodhpur, Agra, and Allahabad were the three Air Force ventures where PABXs were installed. So Signals gave me another chance to introduce PABXs in Navy, and I want to thank people who were associated at that point of time. Colonel Sikri was there, P.K. Sikri, who was associated with that project. So I feel extremely emotional about this fact that what I am today has been a big contribution by Signals of Indian Army. So I want to thank you once again for that. And now I would like to tell you one secret. It is not a secret, but it's a true story. All of us go through different phases of life, and sometime or other, something touches us. Something changes our life. Something makes us feel important or associated with a particular part of life. I was just in the first year of my engineering, and I had a classmate. That classmate, I am sure it must be Colonel in Indian Army today, somewhere. His name was Neerav Bhatnagar. And we used to be together. And the first day he came, he met me, sir, and he was talking about as to how fascinated he is about this green uniform, which all of you are wearing. He used to dream that how to get and become successful in NDA, particularly after he had failed one attempt. And most of the time, his only talk was how to get inside Indian Army. He appeared once again, and he said, "This is my biggest dream of my life." He appeared once again, and this time he came back to the college. After a few weeks, while we were back for lunch,